Browns practicing today here in Berea on Friday. They will practice again on Saturday and then head to Denver a day early to kind of acclimate to the altitude, get out of Cleveland for a little while, get ready for that Monday Night Football game against the Broncos. Now, we heard from Jerry Jeudy today, who is returning to Denver. He had requested to be traded. He ended up coming here to Cleveland, Mary Kay, where he seems pretty happy with the targets he's getting, with the production he's having. He seems like a happy camper as he goes back to his old home in the NFL.
He's very happy here. Over his last 4 games with Jameis Winston at the helm, he's averaging 7 receptions and 95 yards a game. He wasn't getting that in Denver. He was upset there. He wanted out. He went, he asked for it, and he finally got what he wanted. He's here now, he's happy, and he's on pace for more than 1,000 yards this season with Jameis at the helm.
And Ashley, this is sort of what the Browns were expecting out of Jerry when they traded for him, sort of an undervalued player who they could bring here. And in this offense, and now as we've seen with Jameis Winston, maybe he could blossom here and reach that potential he showed at times in Denver.
Yeah, I think his output here so far is what they envisioned. I think this is why they've liked him since that 2020 draft that was pretty receiver heavy, where obviously they had to go left tackle and take Jed Wills. But I do think you see his progress in real time. And I think with Tillman, the guy we're going to talk about in a little bit, it's been the same thing. I think those two have really thrived with Jameis Winston throwing them the ball and just getting more opportunities in this system.
Now, someone else who continues to reach his full potential, Myles Garrett, we heard from him today at Mary Kay. He's coming up on a pretty big milestone at this point in his career, the 100 sack mark. Every week, it's just Myles accomplished this, Myles accomplished that, and he's being put on a pedestal with guys who are Hall of Famers, or in a case of Jared Allen, probably should be a Hall of Famer. Just the accolades keep rolling in for Myles.
Yeah, I think it is pretty firmly established now that Myles Garrett is a Hall of Famer. We couldn't have said that maybe even a year ago, but he's gotten himself firmly into that conversation now. And as a Hall of Fame selector, I can pretty much say he's going to be in. But yes, so good for Myles. Once again, he could reach 100 in this game. He only needs 1.5 sacks to get there. So he's going to have to try to get that rookie quarterback Bo Nix down at least 1.5 times to reach that milestone here, or maybe he'll even do it at home at some point. But good for Myles, and once again, he's the reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Week, and the accolades keep rolling in.
Yeah, Ashley, 6 sacks in the last 3 games, and in one of those games he didn't have a sack, so he's got 2 3-sack games. He's really on a tear, and Bo Nix is a player for as good as he's been. Every now and again he'll run himself into a sack or 2.
Yeah, and I think you see Myles Garrett perform pretty well against rookie quarterbacks usually, and obviously we know about game planning for them. There could be some advantages here for a veteran guy like Jim Schwartz, obviously, who has so much experience, but also a chance for some redemption for Myles and this D-line in Denver, because last year that was one of the games that Jim Schwartz, after the fact, called the D-line out because they had no sacks against Denver, no sacks against the Rams on that long 10-day road trip. So interesting to see if they'll be able to bounce back from that performance.
Okay, couple injury updates. Cedric, Tillman, Jedrick, Wills. Neither player practiced here today. We'll get game status updates on Saturday afternoon to get an idea if they will be questionable, if they'll be out, if they'll have a chance to get out there. But Mary Kay, look, Jed could potentially be your starting left tackle if he could play. And Ashley mentioned it, Cedric Tillman, a very important part of this passing game moving forward.
Yeah, the reason why it would be important to have Jed out there is the fact that the Denver Broncos lead the NFL with 44 sacks. Nick Bonito has 10 of them. And this is just a very, very challenging defensive front. They need all hands on deck. And if Jed Wills can get out there, it would really, really help them, even though he's struggling with this knee injury. Maybe he could even play on a part-time basis if he can get out there. As far as Ced is concerned, once again, big loss if he can't play. As Ken Dorsey put it, they will rotate guys in there, and it won't just be a one-man show trying to replace Ced.
Yeah, and of course said, look, obviously a young guy, we're looking to see kind of how real all of this is, but we know that he offers some size, he offers some muscle, as Jameis Winston said earlier this week, Ashley, and of course that ability to block in the run game. They're going to need all the help they can get there against this very good Broncos run defense.
They could, but if Tillman can't go, I think there's a chance we see more of rookie Jamari Thrash, who I got a chance to talk to today, talked to Jameis Winston really quickly about Jamari as well and how he's managed to try and stay ready. And I thought it was interesting. He talked about when he subbed in for Tillman in that Pittsburgh game when had to leave before they put him in the concussion protocol. He talked about feeling like the game had slowed down for him a little bit, that work he had been doing, especially with Jameis before and after practice, going over their scripts, practicing the scramble drill, practicing no huddle stuff in his spare time. It's helped him. So I think he might get a chance if is unable to go. So he's definitely a guy to watch out for on Monday.
Okay, we will cover everything that happens between now and Monday night. And of course, everything that happens Monday night. Why not? We'll all be there at cleveland.com/Browns.